As we look at now, where people are making resolutions, yesterday I talked about some things that you can do. And today I want to talk about something else, that you want to live like a warrior and die a legend. What do you mean by that? Well, one of the first qualities of a warrior is courage. You want to live your life from now on with courage. That most people take their talents, abilities, and skills to the grave with them because of lack of courage. And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do, what you are called to do, in spite of the fear. You don't want to live a fear-driven life, because you're depriving yourself, your family, and the world that you came here to do something. That's why we're told constantly in the book of life, be of good courage. Because there's stuff that's going to happen that requires that you have courage, that you stand up inside yourself and face it and handle it. Most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run, but there are few that in a fearful situation, they face everything and rise with courage. And that's who you are. That's why you're listening to me now, because there's something you want to do. And when you're going outside of your comfort zone, it takes courage. Most people, the majority of people, die within their comfort zone. They're not risk takers. They go through life trying to play it safe. Let me share something with you. There's no safe position in life. If we don't know anything else, if we have not learned anything else from the coronavirus, there's no safe position in life. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here. And so this is a time that you want to live your life full and do the things that you think about. Sure, you want to keep social distancing from people, and from particularly toxic, negative, energy draining people. You want to keep social distance from them. Why? Because people rub off on you. But you're here to do the greater work. You're here to do something. You've got to live life like you mean it. When I decided to speak, I went at it hard, because I didn't want to be just a speaker. I wanted to be a speaker that stood out, that made a national and global impact. And you can do that too. That's why you're listening to me. You have some talent, you have some knowledge, you have some experiences, you've seen some stuff. And there's some things in you don't want to take to your grave with you. So when you live like a warrior, you live courageously, you're fearless. Here's something else. When you live like a warrior, you honor your commitment. Commitment is major. See, when you decide that you're going to do something, when you commit yourself to live a life that's different than the life that you lived in 2020, you hold yourself to a higher standard. You're seeking something. You're pushing the envelope. You are challenging yourself. You are willing to walk by faith and not by sight. And you know, as a warrior, that there's a dramatic difference between being a warrior and being a worrier. Anybody can worry, and a lot of people are worried right now. Oh, the new virus coming, and it's even more lethal and spreads easier. Okay, got that. All right. And you got to eat. You got to pay the rent, got to pay the mortgage, got to pay the car note. I learned a long time ago the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. Come on. Yeah, but you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to die for a job. No. If somebody asks you, hey, sign here, and in the event you get sick, you go on sue us. Do I look like Mr. Kadumbo? No. Create something else. Life is saying, no, don't put your life on the line saying, oh, I got to eat. I can either starve to death or I sign this and risk dying and leaving my family so they can starve without me. No, you can create something else. You have other options. Don't be limited in your thinking. I did that for years. For years. Because I knew radio, I did it extremely well. And when I was fired, I was dumbfounded. What am I going to do now? Guess what? Learn something new. That's what. If you're willing to learn. See, most people aren't willing to learn. That's why I say, well, if I don't sign this agreement, my family will die. They'll just starve to death. Are you kidding me? Come on now. No. Don't sign anything that says that if you get sick, they're not liable, because they know that there's a high risk that you might get sick and they want you to be on your own. If you don't learn anything else, remember the name Herman Cain, who was sitting on the front row at a rally, proud, no mask. We got back to Atlanta, he had to go to the hospital. He said, no big deal. And now he's out of here 5 days later. They don't even mention his name. You talk about proud and involved on radio every day promoting the right. They don't mention his name as if he did not exist. Come on. Come on. This life is challenging us. In life, when you don't have enough courage or insight, intelligence, expanded vision, that you have outgrown a situation and it's time to move on, life moves on you. I'd outgrown radio. And now I can come on anytime I want and you can see me too. So you got to put your foot down. You got to get an attitude. Because, see, we're all basically the same. We're all basically the same. The only thing that separates us are our habits. I wanted something different for myself. I wanted something different for my mother. I did not want my mother working once I turned 18. So I made a commitment that I was going to generate enough money with my voice, with my story, in radio and then in speaking, to take care of my mother. You've got some talent. You've got something in you. There's a reason that God chose you out of 400 million sperm. You think you're just here to work on a job, pay the bills, keep a roof over your head, a car note, and then die? Come on, give me a break. No, you're here to do the greater work. You know it's true. You can deny it if you want to. I don't know how low your consciousness is. I know some people, no matter what I say, they're not going to hear me. The state of consciousness they're in, this message is not for everybody. That's why Jesus said, he who has ear, let him hear. Let her hear. And the people that can hear me, if you can hear me in your heart, not in your ear, I'm not challenging you and your hearing aid. No, I'm saying what's in your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. When you live like a warrior, you are vigilant, you are courageous, you take initiative, you are ambitious, you have an expanded vision of yourself. You're going to take some chances on you. You're going to bet on you. You don't settle for any and everything when you're a warrior. And you got to be in fight mode. You got to be ready to fight. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. I'm talking to you right now. I have some challenging pain in my body. But I had to fight to rise above that to come in here and talk to you now. I'm not going to let that stop me. Oh. I'm supposed to speak. I'm supposed to motivate and inspire people at a time that we need it now more than ever in the history of this country since we've been alive. And so, courage. Work on it. Raise the bar on yourself. Challenge yourself. Decide you're not going to be the same person in 2021 that you were in 2020. And the other thing is, and this is major, consistency. When I decided to be a speaker, I disciplined myself to memorize a minimum of 3 to 5 quotes every day. I didn't have any speaking engagements. The phone was not ringing to, hey, we'd like to book Les Brown. I was preparing myself. I want you as we, in this second day of 2021, just expect things to be great for you. Expect them to be great because you're going to show up differently. You're going to be consistent. You're going to do the things that you need to do that other people won't do. You want to be a perpetual optimist. Let's get it on. Life, you caught me by surprise in 2020, but that ain't going to happen in 2021. All the euphoria is gone. You've shown yourself. Oh, no. I'm not going to get caught up in the hoopla. No. This is a fight. You've taken something from me. We've been stripped. We've been stripped of personal touch. We've been stripped of spending personal, intimate time with loved ones and family members and friends. We've been stripped of gathering together. We've been stripped of a sense of assurance and faith. You've stripped us. No. And so when we look at this, we have to embrace the newness of this life. The reason I cut my hair, I want to remind myself when I look in the mirror, this is not the Les Brown that was in 2020. No. This is the one that's going to fight like a warrior and die a legend. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to make a greater impact. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to bring your family together. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to work on yourself. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to improve your health. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to create wealth. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to live an expanded vision of yourself, and you're going to go all in. All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. But make sure you do all you can do. A.L. Williams, come on now. Got to get fired up as you do at a football game or a basketball game, or you start doing a little dance in church where they start strumming the organ. Yeah, no. You want to be fired up thinking and being creative. That's how you want to get your shout on. And creating more wealth to protect yourself and to insulate yourself from the ugliness and from the poverty and from the pain that so many people are expressing. This is your time. And it can only be your time when you are willing, as you look in the mirror, when you get up in the morning, Lord, whatever I face today, together, you and I can handle it. All things work together for good, for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. When you get up in the morning and you decide to live a courageous life every day, get up in the morning, you decide to make a commitment to live your greatest life. Get up in the morning in a spirit of gratitude and say, Lord, thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for dragging me into 2021. Thank you for protecting me and those I love. Thank you for the courage to go on, keep it moving, for those that did not make it, for my family members and friends that did not survive. I will live a life that will fill in the blanks for them, because I'm here because of your grace and mercy. I don't take it for granted that I'm still here. And as Orrin Hudson would say, the best day of my life. We're here. We're not taking a dirt nap. We're here. There's some people, no big deal. It's a big deal. We're here. Don't look past this. This life is to be lived. Life is for living, for being happy, for being productive. Herein my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. Much fruit. Not a life of being average or being mediocre. Much fruit. You've been chosen. Are you feeling me here? You've been chosen. You have been chosen for the greater work. It's time to step it up. People who operate in darkness, they are relentless. They never stop. They don't take no breaks. They're always doing something. You get up in the morning looking at your phone and say, what happened now? Look at the news and say, oh my goodness, what's next? People who are spreading confusion and darkness and hate, they make it their full-time job to do that. And we have to make it our full-time job to fight back. We have to make it our full-time job. If they run over here, they will limp back. We have to make it our full-time job to fight for a future for our children, to live a life that will outlive us. Sometimes you got to be like Jesus was when he went in there and the disciples were drinking and playing bid whist. What? Y'all about to make me cuss up in there. Get out of here. Come on. Oh yeah. And so many people, it's easy to get relaxed. Once after all the celebration, it's easy to get relaxed. No, there's work to do. See, you've experienced some setbacks. When a car's driving, if the back wheels go the same rate as the front wheels, it will never catch up. So in order to catch up with the front wheels, you got to speed up. You can't be average. You got to put the foot to the floor. That's where we are. See, when you have lost your job, I don't know if you've experienced it, but I have. When you get 2 or 3 months behind on your bills, it takes more than 2 or 3 months to catch up. You're looking at somebody, I used to be so broke, I'd walk past the bank and trip the alarm. Oh, behave. Yeah. Yeah, you want to live like a warrior. When a warrior, you in fight mode. You are willing to do whatever it takes for you to discipline yourself, to dedicate yourself, to take the initiative, to embrace the newness of your life. You're God's instrument. when you embrace the newness of your life, new habits, new choices, new behavior, new friends, you set yourself up for miracles. Miracles are things that God does for you, through you, as you, and you know it's not you. And the only thing you can say when those miracles show up, look at God. Come on now. Come on. Yes. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. This is your time. This is your time. And it requires courage. It requires commitment. It requires collaboration with like-minded people, people going in the direction where you are, people who have goals and dreams, people that are positive and motivated and purposeful, have a sense of purpose, people that is a result of your relationship, that it's profitable for both of you, it's win-win, of people that you can get together and create something new. I was on what they call that thing called Clubhouse, and I'm creating some new partnerships and meeting some new people on this new platform. Just because I'm 75, you're not going to leave me out. No, I'm not going to be home watching old football games or fights or Netflix. Who's got time to look at television? Viewership should be lower than it's ever been before, because people should be learning things, but don't worry about them. No, don't. That's none of your business. You don't be like, oh, you need to be learning stuff. Shut up. It's none of your business what people do with their lives. And don't listen to them when they tell you, oh, you're just wasting your time. Then you take on their lifestyle. And then you begin to live the life that they're living. And if that works for you, then do it. No. This road that I'm talking about, the road to life, is straight and narrow. In other words, it's lonely. Everybody won't take that road. It's challenging. Everybody won't take that road. It requires discipline. Everybody won't take that road. It requires perseverance. Everybody won't take that road. It's a mindset. It's not over until I win. You're willing to pay the price.
It's not over till I win. Not over till I get through. It's not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm gonna come back and take the hinges off. That's how you gotta do that. You've got to have that kind of courage, that type of determination. If you wanna make it happen, it's you. That you've got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. That you have got to own what it is that you want to do. If it's taking care of your well-being, if it's making a difference in our school system, if it's working with senior citizens, if it's to protect our ecology, if it's to create an economic renaissance, if it's just to take yourself to another level, it's you. You've got to make that happen. We can point out many things that can make it inconvenient or can slow us down, but ultimately, it's on us. Next step is, not only is it possible and necessary, and it's you to live your dream, to make this greatness that you have within you become a reality, but what I've come to appreciate when you're working on changing your life, changing some bad habit, getting out of addictive situations or relationships, or working to build a dream or making a difference in our society, or learning something that's very challenging. Here's what I realize, ladies and gentlemen, and develop a great deal of respect for. It's hard. Easy is not an option. It's hard living. Life is hard. See, it's hard when you are 49 years old, been working on a job for 17 years, and they come in and tell you you're finished and give you 1 week severance pay. And you got to start all over again. It's hard when you're married and raising children and your children are crawling and your husband dies unexpectedly. It's hard handling just the tragedies of life. It's hard when you're working on something and you put everything you have in it and it doesn't work out. You lose your money and other people's money. It's hard. It was rough when I lost my job and I could not find a job. It was humiliating and embarrassing, borrowing money, and then I couldn't pay the money back when I told them I would. That's rough. How people look at you, how they respond to you. It's very hard. It's humiliating. Here's what I discovered that happens to you in life, that you will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happening to you. But after you go through it, and you get back and you look at it and you say, oh, now I understand why I needed that lesson. Have it ever happened to you? Raise your hand. Has it ever happened to you that I couldn't understand it then, but after I got through it, then I saw that that was preparing me for bigger and better things. That as you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender and say, okay, all right. I cooperate. Okay, I learned. Okay. They had to wear me out a long time. So if it's hard, then do it hard. Now, how do you hang in there during the hard, difficult times, Les? You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas, unquestionably. You've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. That it's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. And not only that, but that faith and patience drives you into action. You've got to keep moving and keep plugging away. I can see people coming out talking to a guy out there watering and fertilizing the ground that's not showing anything. Hey, what you doing? You've been out here a long time, man. And the conversation in the neighborhood is, you growing a Chinese bamboo tree, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Well, even Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see ain't nothing showing. You know that's how people are gonna do you? So how long you been working on this? How long have you been working on your dreams? Good. And you have nothing to show. This is all you got to show? People are gonna do that to you. And some people, ladies and gentlemen, they stop. Because they don't see instant results. It doesn't happen quickly. They stop. Oh, no. You got to keep on watering your dream. And when it began to happen, they stopped laughing. They said, look, whoa, look here. Look how, hey, man, you know, I know you can do it. Look here, you got a job here? See, during those hard times, we didn't know how you're going to make payroll. During those times when you failed and things didn't work out, they were nowhere to be found. But you know what I discovered? When you're working at your dream, somebody said the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, it's sweet to you. It's good to you. Why? See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. And people know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard. Now that takes us to the next level. If it's hard, why do people do it? You ask people who do things. Why do they go it? People who climb mountains just for the sake of it. Nobody paying them to do it, just do it. Somebody said, I'm going to run around the world. He said, well, why would somebody want to do that? I'm going to swim the Atlantic Channel. Why? Why do people do that? I wondered, why would a Nelson Mandela give up 26 years of his life? Why do people do that? Here's what I discovered in high school. High school, I decided I wanted to go out for football. Never forget this. And I discovered why people do things. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Even though it's hard, it's worth it. It's worth it. See, one day we had Coach Alkin Hepburn had this plaque down there, and this wood on the floor, on the ground. He said, Brown, come over here. Had my suit on. I said, yes, sir. He said, I'm going to have old Larry Littles down there. Old big Larry. Yes, sir. Big, fat, sorry Larry. Yes, sir. Brown, I want you to get down bull neck. Yes, sir. He said, I want you to run at Larry. I want you to put your helmet right in his pit, right up and hit his chest, and knock him off that board. You hear me, Brown? You can do that. Yes, sir. Can you do that? Yes, sir. I said, hubba, hubba. I said, hubba, hubba. He said, Brown, I want you to knock him off. You're going to make the team. I know you can get him, all right? Look at him. How sorry he is. Knees knocking and everything. I said, yes, sir. And he went down to Larry. Larry Littles, who played 12 years for the Miami Dolphins, all pro for 12 years. This is a bad, big dude. 250 pounds, strength, agile, and all muscle. He said, Larry, he said, man, you know Brown down there. He's down there talking about your mom and everything. He talked about how fat and sorry you are and how he's going to knock you off this board. Larry now spitting fire and growling and foaming at the mouth. Now I'm looking at Larry saying, oh, hubba, hubba. He said, look at that fool down there growling. He told me he's going to scare you, that you're going to leave. Are you going to leave? No, coach, I ain't going to leave. Go down there and knock him out the park. Boy, coach got back. He winked at me. Go get him, Brown. I went hard. I ran into Larry with my helmet. Larry said, boom. I don't know where I landed. When they woke me up, I said, can y'all take this helmet off me for a minute? I said, y'all got any more positions out here? They said, like where? I said, don't y'all need an announcer? I said, Brian, where you going? I was crying. They said, man, some girls over there. I said, I don't care, man, I'm hurt. So that fool almost killed me, man. He said, Brian, you quit, man? I said, yeah. I said, what? I said, it ain't worth it, man. No, it ain't worth it. Y'all go ahead. Y'all crazy. I'll be your announcer, man. I was calling the game. I was up there in the booth. Call good games, too, because the pain wasn't worth it to me. And I'm saying to you, you know why people do what they do? The people who go after their stuff, what makes it worth it? It's got to be your passion. You got to love it, ladies and gentlemen. You got to love it. It's got to be what you are supposed to do. You want to sing, and even though they want to invite you to Carnegie Hall, you're going to sing to anybody that listens to you, including singing to yourself. I used to talk to my plants when nobody else would listen to me. You got to write, even if no one published your book, write, because that was given to you to do. You do what it is you're supposed to. You're supposed to build something. You're supposed to create something. I don't know how to do it. Learn. Do whatever is required. Just go out there. It's possible you can get what you want. It's necessary. If you want it, you got to go into action. You got to be willing to experiment. You got to be willing to fail and to succeed. You got to be willing to form and to develop new relationships. It's you. It's on you. You got to make that happen. Nobody's going to bring it to you on a silver platter and say, here's your dream manifested. No, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's difficult. Yes, right. And it's worth it. People ask, hey man, these kids, man, it's rough dealing with them. That's right. That's right. You think peer pressure happened overnight? We went through peer pressure. I remember as a kid, some guys said, hey Les, me and another fellow named Willie Lower, we were going home. Hey man, we're going down to Goulds, man, and knock off a grocery store. I said, look here, I don't want no part of that. I'll see y'all later. Say, y'all chicken. I said, that's all right, you say whatever you want. Low star. I'm not chicken, man, don't call me chicken. And why don't you come? We didn't even ask you to come into place, man. All you do is just drive the car, that's all. I don't know how to drive that good. Well, we're trying to get Les to come. He's chicken. Hey, I'm not driving nothing, all right? Willie, don't care about what they say, man. Leave him alone. You want to go do it? You find somebody else to drive or you drive yourself. Come on, Willie, man. Pull him, he stopped. I ain't chicken. All I got to do is drive? Yeah. I said, Willie, that sounds simple, man. Don't go, man. He went. And the next day we read the newspaper where when they robbed the store, when they came out running to a car, the merchant, the man who owned the store, came out just shooting wildly, and he hit the driver in the head. So peer pressure didn't just start in the 90s or the 80s. It's difficult and it's challenging for kids right now. And it's going to take some easy, simple methods to help bring them out of this madness, this insanity? No. Is it hard? Yes. Let's look at what we've been doing. What has worked? What has not worked? Let's look at where we want to go. What is it that we want to produce? What is it that we want to create for our young people? And as we think about that, start experimenting with different methods and techniques to create and to produce that. And begin to believe that it's possible through our commitment, through our vision, through our determination, our relentlessness. Because of our belief, it's possible that we can reduce the teenage homicide rate, the teenage pregnancy rate, the dropout rate, that it's possible, looking at what kind of world are they going to be in. As we look at the global economy, that as we begin to use our collective will and genius and resources, it's possible that we can create an educational system that not only will test their minds with information and facts and figures, but will teach them how to think and be creative. And what does it mean to be a human being and to value human life? And how do you make relationships work? How do you bounce back from adversity? It's possible that we can give them a curriculum that will give their lives a sense of purpose and direction and meaning, and teach them how to begin to know and operate on a higher level of being, where they become assets to our society rather than liabilities. What if we leave here with that kind of consciousness that it's possible, as opposed to saying we have to write this generation off, that it's possible that we were born for such a time as this and that maybe someone here has the idea or the method or some plan of action or an approach that can resolve many of the problems that we're facing with young people today. Whatever we have to do to save our children, it's worth it.
People that are hungry believe if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. People that are hungry believe what Zig said when he said, if you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. People that are hungry believe always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry are uncommon people. They say yes to their dreams. They say yes to an opportunity where they can develop their entrepreneurial skills, where they can develop their mind and their leadership skills, where they can become versatile and flexible and create and build a business they can be proud of. People that are hungry have a vision of themselves when they leave here, leaving a legacy and not liabilities. People that are hungry understand that most people die at age 25 and don't get buried till they're 65 because they're not willing to take a chance on themselves. People that are hungry are a rare breed. They're risk takers. I don't know what you want to do. Seemed like yesterday when I was the new kid on the block. Now at 68, I'm the old timer. I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 68, I feel like I served at the Lord's Supper. And I know I look young for 68 because I used mascara to cover my gray hair. I was over there asking Maria, I said, Marita, can you have any mascara? She said, oh, you look just fine. My kids said, Daddy, you look distinguished with your gray hair. I said, 68, I'm not trying to look distinguished, I'm trying to look young. I gotta tell you this story. Don't tell anybody, please. I gave this speech at the Georgia Dome, and after I finished, it's called It's Not Over Till I Win, and after I finished, somebody came back and said, Mr. Brown, I know you're tired, and our speaker canceled. Do you have enough energy to do another program? I said, no, I'm tired. He said, we can pay you a full fee of $25,000. I said, the Lord is able. So they took me over to the Georgia World Congress Center. And it was an intimate setting. People were very close to the stage. So I looked in the room, and then I went in the restroom and got my little Mademoiselle mascara out to cover my gray, you know, in my mustache and everything. So I came in the room. The lady wanted everybody to know that she knew me. So she said, there he is, Les Brown. I came up on the stage. She holds her cheek out for me to kiss it. I kissed her on the cheek and left this big black smudge on her face. I said, oh my God. So I didn't know what to do, so I just sat down. So the people down front start saying, there's something on your face. She looks at me, she said, what are they saying? I said, I don't know. Then one nosy lady went over there, opened up her pocketbook, and gave her a mirror. Now, nobody asked her to do that. Getting in the Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor. She looks and see the big black smudge on her face. She said, how did this get here? I said, I don't know, you think maybe some of this rubs off? Well, the reason I'm telling you this, don't worry if I kiss you today, because Marie said, you don't need it, you'll be just fine. You look distinguished, whatever.
Dude, it is so good to have you. You are an unparalleled motivational preacher. And I use that word very intentionally. You have a way of conveying a message with such chills inspiring, goosebump giving power. It's really, really extraordinary to witness, and becomes all that much more powerful knowing that you didn't start there, that wasn't sort of naturally, you know, your beginning, and you've called life a battle for territory.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
That the things that you get in life, you know, Frederick Douglass said, we might not get everything that we fight for, but everything we get, it will be a fight. So, and I love the quote that life is a fight for territory, and once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. Like getting ready to come here to see you, I want to just, first of all, thank you for the great work that you're doing. I watch you and I study you, and you have had some incredible guests that impacted my life. And preparing to come here, I'm being treated by Cancer Centers of America for fourth stage cancer, which I've been kicking cancer's butt for 27 years. And I've been working on getting a six-pack before getting here. I still got one pack. And I've been working to get some muscles so I can wear my t-shirt, but they weren't large enough, so I wore a long sleeve.
That's amazing, man. Talk to me about cancer. You've had such an upbeat attitude about it. It's really pretty extraordinary. Was that your initial reaction? Did you go through a trough of despair when you first got diagnosed? Like, how have you framed that?
Dr. Alfred Golson, who has since passed, was a very unusual guy. And he told me, he said, Mr. Brown, you have cancer. I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes, and you're ugly too. I said, oh my God. So I didn't have a chance to have fear because, those 3 words, you have cancer, 3 of the most feared words in 7 different languages. I saw it as a fight. And from that time to this time, my PSA was 2,400. And that stands for prostate-specific antigen, and now it's below 0 and metastasized to 7 areas of my body, which was a good thing because 7 is my lucky number. Okay, so I never was fearful that I was going to die from it, and I think that I read something by Dr. Norman Cousins. He wrote a book called The Biology of Hope, and he talked about the fact that when something happens to you, you don't deny it, you defy it. And I was defiant that I'm going to beat this, I'm going to handle this. That there are people who many times when something happens to them, that they embrace it from a place of fear and it takes them out. And L.C. Robinson said, things may happen to you and things may happen around you, but the most important things are the things that happen in you. And you have to stand up inside yourself and deal with it and handle it. So fortunately, that never bothered me, but I had sciatica pain. That had me speaking in unknown tongues. And I was in a wheelchair for several months, speaking from a wheelchair. And it was something that I dealt with that frightened me. Will this ever end? It was 24 hours. I lost a lot of sleep. It was exhausting, going from all type of specialists in and out of the country. And just one day, it stopped. And I'm glad that I'm past that. I feel like when you go through some stuff, there's some certain things that you don't want ever to see again, and that's what I don't want to ever see again. But fear has not been the biggest challenge that I've faced with the things that I've been dealing with in terms of my health.
Well, talk to me about the process that you go through mentally. So there have been a few times in your life in getting to know your story where they seem like really key inflection points. Being told that you were teachable but mentally retarded, that for sure is something that would define most people, and they would have a hard time escaping that. Being told that you have cancer, that it's stage 4, that they don't know how to treat it, like that's something that consumes most people. How do you build that resilience? So maybe by the time you get to cancer, you've already done so much work, so I get maybe how that one you're protected by the mechanisms you've built, but in the beginning, how did you crawl out from under the labels that people were putting on you?
The easiest thing I've done was to get out from under the labels and to live the life that I live. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe that I can do it.
What's the difference?
The difference is that when you don't know what's impacting you, and it's something that's holding you down and you're not aware of it. The great anthropologist Margaret Mead was in a restaurant in London, and a guy was serving her and said, "There's several Americans here tonight." And she said, "Is that right?" "Yeah." So let me know when you serve them dessert. I'll tell you exactly how many are here. He said, "Oh, you couldn't possibly." And so he came back and said, "Okay, I've done it." And she got up and she walked around and she came back and she said, "There are around 25 here." And he looked at the roster. "How did you know that?" Say, "In America, we eat differently from you when we eat a dessert. You eat it from the crust toward the tip. We eat it from the tip toward the crust. When you eat a slice of pie, how do you eat yours?"
Definitely, yeah, from the tip back to the crust, for sure.
Yeah, okay, and so there are things that when you, in my situation, when you live in a dominant culture that is designed to destroy your sense of self and your belief in yourself, and you have to learn ways in which you can begin to connect with this power that you have within yourself to handle where you are. The key is to be constantly in a perpetual process of discovering the truth of who you are and fighting constantly to look for ways in which you can escape the inner conversation. I speak to audiences around the world, and I train speakers as well, and I tell them that when you speak, that there's an objective that you want to achieve when you speak to an audience, because how people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. So you as a speaker, when you speak in this program, when people see you, what you do is distract, dispute, and inspire. You distract people from their current story with your guests and the questions that you ask. Through the process of the ongoing questioning and the way in which they respond and the things they have learned, you dismantle their current belief system and inspire them to create a new chapter with their lives. And so, but that's an ongoing process of constantly interrupting that conversation, what psychologists call your self-explanatory style, because life is going to beat up on you in so many ways, and many things, they come back, you know, negative thoughts and how you feel about yourself, they don't die. They come back once you stop doing the maintenance work on your mind, listening to motivational messages, going to seminars and workshops, spending time quietly listening to the still small voice within. Who am I really? Is this really me? Am I giving my best? Am I just reflecting what's around me? Because all of these various things affect how we show up in life. And so having a strategy to continuously find ourselves reaching higher. Robert Schuller had a book, it's not very popular, but I loved it. It's called Peak to Peak, U-P-E-A-K to P-E-E-K, because you're constantly reaching higher to find out and discover your better self.
What are some daily practices that someone can take to
well, in my particular case, when you are in a culture that is designed to deny you, to demonize you, and to destroy your sense of self, you have to do a stripping.
Yeah.
If you're going to wax a floor, you don't just put good wax on a floor that needs to be waxed. You got to strip it first. And so you have to strip away that which has compromised your vision of yourself and how you see yourself. And you have to have a program that you implement, rituals that you listen to. What you listen to, you turn into.
Yes.
My mother used to work on Miami Beach, and she adopted my twin brother and 5 brothers and sisters. We were first foster kids, and I was shining the shoes of Mr. Swiderski. Mr. Swiderski, he listened to motivational material all the time. Zig Ziglar.
Yes.
If you give enough people what they want, they'll give you what you want.
Yes.
Jim Rohn, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, you have something special. Don't allow your thoughts to control you. You must think positively. And by listening while shining Mr. Swiderski's shoes, it began to expand my vision beyond my mental conditioning. Because I was working at a time on Miami Beach, they used to have signs on Miami Beach that said, Jews, dogs, and coloreds not allowed. So there were places on Miami Beach that Black people couldn't go, but a dog could go.
Yes.
And so living in that kind of culture, that listening to words that validated me, that inspired me to live out of my imagination. That's
Yes.
the only area of our lives that cannot be tainted. The imagination. That's why Einstein said the imagination is a preview of what's to come. That listening to those motivational messages allowed me to hold a vision of myself outside of my circumstances, outside of the culture that had denied me and demonized me and worked tenaciously to destroy my sense of self.
Yes.
And empowered me to believe that it's possible.
Yes.
That if other people had goals and dreams they wanted to achieve, that I can have them too.
Yes.
If possible, that I can go from linoleum on the floor to carpet, and go from a house where fans are blowing hot air
Yes.
to air conditioning. It created a different kind of mindset.
Yes.
And so what we have to do is engage in a ritual that allow us to begin to retrain our thinking. We can't control the thoughts that come in our minds, but we can control the thoughts that we dwell on.
Yes.
And the other thing that kept me going, and Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow.
Right.
My goal, I had a vision of taking care of my mother and a vision of buying her a home. And I accomplished that. And that kept me going. When other people were ready to stop, give up, throwing the towel on themselves, my reason of why I was doing it was my rod and staff to empower me to keep going and get excited when I was rejected, knowing that every rejection, every no brought me a step closer to a yes.
Yes.